Thank you guys so much for joining us today. We are so excited to have you here as we are going to be talking about mindset and money. So I'm so excited with the guests that we have that are going to be joining us today. And we do want to give a special shout out to Misty. She's not going to be here today. Life is busy. It's summertime. So, the show goes on. So we're excited to have our guests today and to get into today's conversation. So, Raschell, what is new with you? What is going on in your world that you could share with us today?
Uh, well, I mean, it's warmer here in Canada, which is really nice finally after so long, but we don't get the spring. It just kind of goes straight into like very hot, like 24, 25 with beating sun. But yeah, lots of going on this week with me. There's some great podcasts that I'm bringing out. A great friend that we both know, Pat Roquet. And yeah, just embracing those summer days as they start to roll on in. So very excited.
Love that. And so, I'm so excited about the summer. It has been a very jam packed weekend for me. We had our 10th child graduate from high school. Our
Wow.
first granddaughter turned one. And, all the festivities around the end of the school year. So I still am kind of like in chill recovery mode from all the parties and celebrations and things of that nature. But we probably should introduce ourselves because I just went right into the
You did.
conversation without, you know.
You're
So
already in that chill summer mode already.
I'm chilling a little bit too much. I'm forgetting to introduce myself.
There
So
you go.
I'm excited to be here, but I am LaChelle, also known as America's Supermom, mother of 15 children. So I know a little bit about chaos, and that is one of the things that I help other people deal with, navigate through that chaos and transform it into clarity and confidence with a smile. So I'm excited to be here with you. And Raschell, I'm going to give you the opportunity to do your intro.
Yeah, absolutely. So my name is Raschell Harlingten. I am the founder of Roots for Success. We're a company where we really support people in understanding the power is within, understanding our blueprint, how we can recognize what doesn't serve us, rewrite the stories we tell ourselves, and realign with our purpose. I also am a podcast host of the Transformational Soul Talks, and I love it because I get to share so many people's stories from across the world about how they've made that transformation, how they've gone from where they were to where they want to be. And I love it because every story is so important, because if one person hears that story and decides to make that change in their life, then I've done my job. So yeah,
Love that.
excited.
Well, we are excited about today's conversation. We have two of our guests that are here, and we're waiting on the other ones. But as we say, you never know about technology, how everything's going to work. But we're going to be talking about money and mindset. So we're going to have our other intro. And when we come back, everybody will be on stage and we'll be diving into this topic. So we'll be right back. Welcome to Real Life Without Excuses. I am America's Supermom.
Yeah, I love how we had our own fall festival. Whenever,
Oh, yeah.
that was just too funny. That was fun.
Recognize who you are, what you'd like to see in your life, and who you'd like to partner with.
I love that. And, that's coming from a place of power.
She makes. I have written with women who have been through things I could not even imagine. You can tell the old story. Don't dwell on the old story, because most of your friends are not trauma counselors.
All right, guys. Well, so glad that we have you gentlemen here with us today. And we may have some more guests, but the show goes on, guys. So I want to say thank you so much to some of our viewers. We have Mary, Omar, Mike, Beverly, and we have Matthew Eston. Thank you guys so much for joining. And, I'm one that has challenges with the multitasking. I get into the conversation, it's hard to kind of monitor the comments, but we want to thank you guys so much for joining us. So, we are going to start out with the conversation around money and mindset. And I think, I just kind of pondered this question because I think, a lot of times we have to really think about what are our views about money. How do we get to the point to where we can scale, where we can grow, where we can, ask for different amounts. As you progress in your field, for example, you become more experienced. You might start out charging $100 an hour, and then one day it's 500. But how do you get to that? 100 is maybe seems like that's something more reasonable, but as you get to higher numbers, how do you wrap your head around that? So that's really what kind of sparked this conversation. And so I'm so excited to have our men's panel because, they really help us to hear what their perspective is and kind of challenge some of those ceilings that many of us might be having around money. So we're going to first uh, go on over to Lifesaver. That's my name that I call him. But we'll have you introduce yourself and share, what do you think are the challenges that people have with their mindset regarding money?
Hi, LaChelle. Thank you very much for having me. And yeah, I am Shubhapati Sanya. It's a long name. Guys can address me as SP. Uh, LaChelle found a shortcut, so she decided to call me Lifesaver. I still haven't figured out the reason why, but so I have a small venture which me and my wife and I had started in 2011. There is still a group of companies, a conglomerate of 5 companies, individually addressing individual areas of businesses. Core, we are a global business service consultants, focusing on areas like sales, customer success, and outsourcing and shared services. So, coming to the question of money, the most important part of anybody's life, right now or at any point, given point of time or any time in future. I personally, if you ask me, I would opine that when we talk about money, we need to start by asking questions to our own self. Okay, I mean, it's a constant that we all need money.
Mhm.
Some of us say it, some of us don't say it. And I, from my experience, I mean, my professional experience of now over 30, nearly 33 years now, and and personally the number of people I've seen, one thing I've understood in life at 54 is anybody who says that money is not important to me, I have realized now that person is lying through the teeth.
Mhm.
So money is important, definitely important. But yes, we need to ask a lot of questions when it comes to money.
Mhm.
First is, when it comes to money, we never have a balanced approach to understanding how much we can earn it. We always have higher aspirations, and that is good. That is really good. Ideally, we should be asking questions. If I have certain aspirations, where am I, and why should I be earning it? And if we have a measure that, okay, I am been doing the same thing, I have the same specializations, I have the same skills, so these are the people who are earning so much and want me here, why not? So that is actually, the question, why not, is not in order to challenge the fact that somebody else is making with the same skill set making this money. So why shouldn't I make it? The question is, why am I, if I'm not making it, why am I not making it? So I'll stop right here and let Matt join in and all of you join in. So I would leave the thought here is, let's question ourselves when it comes to money, that if we aspire for it, uh, are we prepared to have it?
Mhm. Good point. Yeah. I love that. And I called you Lifesaver because, we go way back when I first
Mhm.
started doing Facebook Live videos.
Right.
And we always had these really profound conversations.
Mhm.
And for me, it really was important with transforming my mindset because after coming out of depression,
Mhm.
just some of the things that you said just really helped me look at life in a different way. So that's where I
Okay.
came up with the name.
It
So,
feels so nice. So I could make some difference to you. I mean, I'm happy. I'm really happy the way that I think, at least if it has made some positive difference to you.
mhm. Yeah, it's been amazing. So I'm excited to have you here today. So, Matt, we're over to you. Your intro and what are your thoughts about the mindset and money? You're muted. Can't hear you. Is it me? Because I can't hear him.
Uh, Matt, can you just check your settings, your audio settings on StreamYard? At the bottom, you could find something, like mute, stop cam, settings, present. Just check the settings part.
He's he's,
I
he's
thought it was
looking.
me. I was like, okay, maybe it's me.
No, he's unmuted, but the thing is, we can't hear him.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, now we
Yes.
can. Yes, there we go.
First of all, think about money, pay the bill, and then your equipment works. I just had
Very
to put a
nice.
50p in the meter. In fact, I was at the gym today using my favorite machine and I was putting the 50p's in the machine. My favorite machine at the gym. It dishes out the chocolate. Sorry, very bad joke, but about money. So, first of all, LaChelle, if you are only charging $500 per hour, you need to rethink that. You need to up that price. Anybody who's paying you $500 only for an hour, like they need the other bill because you're not sending them the right invoice. Oh, that's the deposit, and they need to
I love that. Look, I received that. Okay.
financing options. That's what we need.
I love it.
Hello, everyone. My name is Matt Allen. I am founder of Kudos. Kudos is basically the world's first social benefit network that will be a social network, but designed with benefit for everybody at its center, at its middle, and all the way out to every extreme of what it does. I think about money in many different respects because I've had money, I've not had money. Currently, I don't have much money at all. And the thing for me has always been that money is a matter of perspective. It's a matter of what you have compared to what you want to have. Money is also one of those things that is changing currently and all the time. It has been since I was little, and it will be until whatever day we stop using money as it is. Money is one of those things that impacts people's lives in positive and negative ways. It can be something where people say, well, money is not the root of all happiness. No, but it certainly buys a big chunk of a smile that you might put on your face from something that you enjoy. That doesn't mean that it doesn't bring happiness. some people also talk about money in the sense of it can be very very transformative of people. It can bring out the good or bring out the bad. And I suppose that's because money is a very divisive thing, and people need to understand its worth. And I think that is the true description of how I feel about money, is the value that is put upon it and the value of what you give in return for it. In many respects, we talk about the value of ourselves as a commodity or a person of value in terms of the job that we do or the service that we provide. But quite often that's relative. Somewhere, for example, like here in England or in the US, something costs a lot of money, and somewhere else it might not cost a lot of money at all. I think, yes, we need to ask questions of ourselves, but also we need to ask questions of the world to think what true value is and why some people get very little and other people get very much. You know a little bit about what I do, and that's really what I'm about, is to make everybody be able to benefit. Not necessarily everybody has the same exchange rate or their particular currency has the same value, but certainly we need to value people above just the monetary value that we put on the things that we have.
Love that. Yeah. So we've got a guest, Ria, who is here, and she has asked us a couple questions that I think are really important. The first one is, how does a person's beliefs no, wait a minute. I just lost it. How does a person's beliefs about money influence their financial decisions they make is one question. And is there a way to start reframing your beliefs to empower yourself? So, do one of those questions kind of resonate with either one of you that we can address? Go ahead, Matt.
Sorry, Espen, you'll get used to this. I put my hand up a lot. I'm a very polite Englishman, or at least that's what I tell people. I'm not convinced that they think that. I think maybe they just think that I'm stupid for putting my hand up. But anyway, moving on. I think that belief should be fundamental to everything that we do. What we believe in is who we are. It's us down to our core, especially if we believe genuinely in something, then that is something that constitutes us as a person and makes us up, from the hair on our head to the way that we paint our nails. I'm not saying I paint my nails, but like some people paint their nails and maybe they believe that unicorns are the best thing in the world and they paint a unicorn. I have no idea about painting nails. I have no idea where that's going. But the point is this: what we believe makes us the person that we are. And what I believe is that everybody should have more, because everybody is valuable and everybody is, where's my finger, a miracle. That means that everybody has value. And I mentioned value before. Value comes from all sorts of different things, from our belief and our worth and the delivery of whatever good or service we provide, when we're talking about money, really. But belief systems are beyond that. They're about what we consider to be good and bad, usually. And I think that money is one of those things that can be good or can be bad. And for me, a belief in money doing good is the best way to deal with money, because it's about trying to give to everybody. And that for me is something that I believe in very strongly, is giving. And I think that if we give more, we will get more. And not just necessarily into our own pockets, but into our own lives and into our own beliefs. Giving is not just handing things over. Giving is a belief in something that somebody else is doing, or a belief in wanting to help them to do it, or wanting to help them to overcome an obstacle. There's many other reasons for giving as well, but those are the main ones that I would think about. I don't have much, but if I find a friend, for example, on the street who needs a meal, I wouldn't just take them for a meal. I'd bring them back to my house and I'd give them everything out my fridge until they were full. That's because that costs money and it's value, and I value my friend. Like Espe, I used to teach people how to sell, and selling can be seen as how to get money from people for what you do. But what the real trick is to understand what you're giving to people in return. It's not just about the money, it's about value, what your beliefs are, and whether those beliefs tie in with what they are looking for.
Mm-hmm. That's good. Go ahead, Lifesaver. What's your thought?
Yeah. Belief, again, I mean, I normally take quite a relevance to spirituality, which is basic foundation of my thought process and how we have been speaking with each other over the years. So, and I have for the last 25 years, I've broken this time and again, I've broken this myth that, business, money, and spirituality, these are three different departments. At least spirituality and business, money, and other things are different. I've broken this myth over and over again. Our identity is based on us. I'm not talking about religion again. I'm talking about spirituality. Religion came after we created that. Spirituality was there. If, if we believe in God, spirituality was given by God. We made religion out of it. So our identity is comes from our spirituality, and our belief system arises from that. Now, I'm not going to talk about what we want to believe and how we want to believe. I would take it inside what I believe about myself. Very simple question. And I don't have to, study rocket science to answer this. Just have to look at myself and simple ask a few questions. And, what do I believe about myself? What do I find my strengths? What do I believe in as my core values? And basis that, what kind of actions do I define about myself? So that's the basic. That's something very basic. Yes, of course. Then learning comes, a lot of learning comes, upskilling comes, and then our value systems, our belief system gets valuable. We have a belief system which is best based on what who we are, and then as and when we learn, we understand, we acquire skills, we acquire knowledge. That belief system becomes more valuable. And I agree completely with Matt when we say we are the miracle. Yes, we are. I mean, that's a fact. The sooner we realize it, sooner our lives will be better. The fact is, that is the truth. That is the underlying truth. Now, some of us spend the entire life realizing it, and some of us realize it just like this, that yes, we are the miracle. So, it's the value system, the belief system starts from there. And then, as I said, we need to focus on if I have the right belief. And yes, belief and money is absolutely related because, okay, now this is something very interesting. Sometimes I have seen a lot of thought processes that kind of define that, if I have a strong belief and if I have a strong want of money, I should be feeling guilty about it.
Mm-hmm.
No, no, not at all. Not at all. If I have a strong belief system, that there is all the more reason that all the money of the world should be with me, because then I would have the right judgment and I would have the right prudence to employ that money. And I'm sure I'm going to employ that money given the value of my belief and my belief system. I would be in a position to employ that money in a much more advantageous way, in which not me alone, thousands of families are going to benefit from it. So, belief, yes. What is important to answer Ria's question is yes, you don't need to change your belief. All you need to do is question yourself and understand who you are. Find out, and I refuse to accept. See, again, the core is we are miracles. a lot of things that are egos, are conditionings, are reactions. If LaChelle remembers, in our first conversation, I was talking about something like how we react, and the problem all starts there. We see something good, we react good. We take good and go home. We see something bad, we react. We take bad and go home. So it's about so the wrongs that we have done is always the outcome of egos, conditions, and reactions. But at the core, we are miracles. We are very good people. So we need to identify, recognize that value within us. And when we have that value, let the sky be the limit when it comes to wanting to earn that kind of money. But to correlate, now if I have a want, I have a aim, I have a want that I need to do this, and I have a belief system. Now that journey is my responsibility. How do I take that journey from my belief system to earning that money? And for that, how much I need to learn, how much I need to upskill, that is my responsibility, and I need to do that. I need to work very, very hard for that. I need to work very hard for that, because if my want is higher, my work should be harder.
Mm.
And there's no shortcuts, no compromises in that area. And I like one thing that Matt mentioned about helping. That's part of a strong belief system, and it was so wonderful. Yes, if I value something, I would, the way he presented it, it was so wonderful. But actually, I was asked about philanthropy. I was saying, somebody asked me, like, if you have a given set of money, how much of it would you spend, giving it to people? So it was a public forum. So I said, I will not give it to anybody. So obviously, there were people started questioning. I mean, how can you say that? I mean, you have this. You have been fortunate to have this, say, an X amount of money. So how much of it would you give? I mean, we are not asking you to give the whole. I said, not a bit. I said, I probably would use that to teach me. I will never buy fish from the market and give it to a hungry person. I would spend that money teaching that person how to fish. Tomorrow, if I am not there, that person might not end up finding another nice person, probably the person that he thought I was. So if he knows how to fish, he never has to turn to another person. He will just go searching for a fish, he'll get it. And that's the start of his journey out from where the person he or she is to where he or she wants to be.
Lovely.
Wow. There's a lot there. There's a lot to unpack there. That's incredible. There is. So I'm curious, with all this information, you guys have got some great points. If someone was saying, I really need to change my mindset around money, if there were two things that you could give them, just two little points, what would it be around how to shift that mindset? If they're like, I was raised and this is how I think about my money and it's really not supporting me, what would you suggest? Two things. Go ahead, Matt.
Oh, me first again.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That
wasn't what I signed for. I'm sure on the thing it said that I could go second, and I've gone first twice now. So I want to reassess this agreement, and this $500 an hour. Yeah, let's review that as well.
I'm glad I got a new agent. I wasn't expecting that, so this is good. My team is growing.
You think, but carefully, I want to know what name you're going to give me if this guy is the lifesaver, right? I want to know. And everybody wants to know by the end of the show. So get your thinking hat on.
You're miracle worker.
Look, miracle worker.
You're miracle worker. Okay, we already got yours. Okay, so
as long as it's not Darth Vader, you're good.
Well, yeah. I was going to go and switch the light off and say that I'm lightsaver, but
okay.
Yeah. Sorry, this is turning into one of my lives where it's just silly and nonsense. Okay. Let's focus on the subject. Yeah, what was that again? No, I got it.
Two things to transform their mindset around money.
Oh, can you come back to me? No. Number one, and my lifesaver friend has, I keep pointing to this side, but I just want to tap you on the head and say, well done.
Oh, Lord.
You realize that I'm only saying this stuff to fill time, and I can think of an answer.
Right,
No, really,
right.
I've got an answer.
Look,
I've got an answer.
you know,
I've got an answer. I've got two answers.
Oh,
We've got two
okay.
answers. First answer.
So what were those two things, Matt?
Number one. Oh, is that the time? Number one is this. SP already said this about work. So and this isn't me trying to say that what I've done is something wonderful, or this is the option that everybody should do, or anything like that. Right? I was sat in a taxi this morning at 6 a.m. and I was sat with a guy called Graham. And Graham was driving my taxi, and we're having a nice long chat because it takes about half an hour to go from my house to my work. And Graham's telling me about his children. And he tells me about his 17-year-old son who plays basketball and all sorts of things. And then we get to the point of he's doing a part-time job working for a pizza shop of, pizza. Yeah, I can't say the name. So he works for this well-known pizza place, and he gets paid £5.50 an hour, right? Now, he's 17, this young man. Now, 17, you could be like me, and you could have been living by yourself in a flat somewhere trying to survive. And £5.50 is not even enough to buy you a McDonald's Happy Meal. So, yeah, I think that money is consequential to value, first of all. And what you should do is value yourself and decide what you are worth and what you need to live upon, and then figure that out and budget how to do that on the money that you can achieve. Because whatever status you are at the moment, let's call it that, is your ability to earn money. Whatever job you're in at the moment is the money that you're earning. You can't just suddenly magic money out of nowhere. Trust me, I've tried that. It doesn't work. I can magic coffee off the screen sometimes, but that's a whole other thing. Now, second point, I need to fill more space here. How can I do it? No, second point, work. When I was 13, I started work, and I started work sweeping up hair in a hairdresser's, because that was the only job that would take me at the age of 13. And I was happy to do that because I wanted to go out of home and work. And then by the age of 16, 17, like this young fella, I started working at 6 a.m. as a fishmonger. And then I finished about 8:30. And then I would go to school and I would do my sixth form studies. And then I would finish at school about 3:30. And then I would go back to the town where I was working in the morning, and I would work as a waiter in a Woodbey. In fact, some people, possibly some of the people in the audience, know that I was at the very same Woodbey, which is now maybe 400 miles away in my country. But I was there for one of my lives because I wanted to go and visit that place because it was just a memory that I had from when I was younger. And in fact, the guy who ran it 30 years ago is actually still running it. It's a little miracle of its own. But that's detracting from the point. The point is this: if you do not have enough, you need to use your brain or your body to be able to find enough. If you think there's no opportunities out there, then that's because you're not applying your mind or your body enough. What you need to do is think about the solution, not the problem, because that is the way that true thought is conducted in people's minds, is how to solution what they need and then think about how to apply that to the problem. So if your solution is that you want to learn to be a programmer because there is lots of money in web development, for example, then that's the solution. Learn how to be a web developer. Go out and learn it. If your solution is something much easier, like, and I'm not saying that this is much easier, I'm just, becoming a nail technician and painting unicorns on people's toenails, then maybe that's something that has a lot of value in it as well. So go out and learn how to paint people's toenails with unicorns. Trust me, there's a lot of demand for that. But what I'm saying is that we have the power within us to be able to figure out what we can do and then do that. It's about action, not just belief. Belief is one thing. Belief carries us a certain extent, but belief is an action itself, but it's not the action that we need to take in the principle of how do we get more money? How do we get to a station in life where we are comfortable with that position? And trust me, thinking about these solutions is going to take you your whole life, because your position in life, as much as you push it forwards, will tend to go backwards because of the way that money works, unfortunately. Money currently is always being devalued, as is our work and our brain power and our muscle power, for want of a better phrase. So be willing to think, be willing to work, be willing to take action, and that is the way to get more money.
Good stuff.
So what were the two questions again? Sorry.
That was good. 2 things to help people change their mindset. So we're over to you, Lifesaver. That was good.
Yeah, thanks, Matt, for that insight. Awesome. And 2 things to change the mindset about money. First, a horoscope does not decide how much you earn. Your environment does not decide how much you earn. Your criticizers don't decide how much you earn. You decide how much you earn. Now, when that's decided, how am I going to earn it? The next question. Going back again, I mean, I seem to be drawing reference to our first discussion that I had with LaChelle 3 years back, I guess, or 4 years back. I mentioned something that this is just one thing. A lot of people, I have experienced this, especially since I am a startup mentor, I kind of get this question a lot, and I have experienced this. We tend to do a survey of things. When we think about earning money, first what we do is we do an ascending classification of money earning jobs or money earning professions or money earning businesses or products or services. And then we start ticking this. And surprisingly, what we tick off is something we believe is just not within us. I mean, I just cannot do it. Sending a spaceship to Mars, I can become rich if I can do that. But it's not possible for me, so I tick it off. We never think, what is that one thing that I can do best? And then look at those. That ascending classification is great. That homework is awesome. This number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5. These are the professions that give you the best money. These are the jobs. These are the products. These are the services. Awesome. Now the next question is, what is that one thing that I can do best? That will help change the mindset of earning the money a lot. Then we would come face to face with the reality where right now where I am. And where I am, this is what I can make. So if I am at X and I need to go to 5X or 10X or 15X, what is this that I have to invest in myself? And second is, there should not be an iota of shame when it comes to learning. I cannot have shame. I cannot have ego. I cannot have any sort of complex if I am standing there right in the middle to learn something. That changes everything.
That's good stuff.
So I believe these 2 things.
That's awesome. We have a lot of questions here. So we have, this is probably the last one we can get to, but Ria asks again, how do we navigate through the business world when people don't pay you your value? she finds that she ends up working hard for the wrong person, and that tends to be abusive rather than rewarding. So what are your thoughts? We'll start with you, Lifesaver, so Matt can get some time to get his answer together. So how do you navigate through business when people don't pay you your value?
That is a very, very important question. It's just not about people who are starting business, not about their existing companies. So even about veterans who have been spent years
Hmm.
trying to earn money through business or profession or service or products. Networking is inevitable. Business cannot happen without networking. That is inevitable.
Hmm.
The best way to navigate this is to very strongly and critically ask ourselves a question: what are we solving? When we know what we are solving, then we need to understand who else is solving that. Now, when we know that, we can kind of understand: am I low, am I same, or am I high? If I'm low and I'm same, I need to ask the question why. And if I am high, then even more I need to ask that question because somebody is already breathing down my neck to make me same or low. So that is the second thing. Third thing is, once I have answered those questions about myself, I need to understand the person who has approached me. How much of that solution is important to that person? First, second is when I showcase my solution to that person, it is very important how I communicate. In selling, I use this a lot when I take sessions or I am addressing seminars that nobody knows till the time you tell them that they need to know this. So assuming that if a customer is looking for a solution, it could be anything, it could be a service, it could be a product. Solution means a customer has a want. So now I need to say this here. When we are servicing a customer, we are selling something, we need to understand buying and selling are very two different things. Buying is an experience, selling is a job. So we are doing a job, but that's an experience for the other person. So if that person has decided to run me down for some reason, probably the person has got that impression that the solution that I'm providing is not worthwhile, or probably, is during the solution, probably the person had realized, oh, I could have got it somewhere else as well. It's about how we package the solution. And when I'm saying how we package the solution, I'm not talking about gimmicks or using false pretenses or false statements, nothing like that. Exactly what I am giving. This is exactly how I package it. The question, I need to understand what am I solving and what does the solution mean to that person. Now, I'll give you an example. There's client A, client B, client C. All of them have the same problem, and I am offering this a solution to a problem that they have. Client A, that might be one of client A's problem, and how much, and it might not be impacting client A's business so much, but for some reason client A thinks it's a problem. For client B knows it's a problem. Client B has access to better solutions, but client B is trying to check out solutions. Could be because of pricing, or could be because through the communication with the service provider, the client B has probably realized that client B can dominate this entire transaction. And this the client B would do to be on a space, to be in a space where it's kind of a non-committal, non-commitment, okay, I am giving you this opportunity, you get this done for me. Let's see how you do it. And client C is desperately needing that solution. Anybody coming with the solution, client C would look at that person very seriously. Now, if we remember these three classifications in mind, it will be very easy to navigate to the right potential clients, to the right businesses.
That
It
was
doesn't matter, and I always say this, a service provider, an entrepreneur, a freelancer, a virtual assistant, size does not matter. An enterprise can be very small, a one-person company. It can even be a 3,000 employee company. It doesn't, size does not matter. No matter what the status is, what the stature is, if I am giving a solution, I am exchanging my potential, my knowledge in exchange of something of value, and that is how things work. I do not dominate my client does not dominate me. And third, agreements, honestly, I'll tell you, we've signed agreements of 50 pages, 70 pages, even 120, 136, 145 page agreements. Those are just signatures, those are clauses and by clauses. The whole thing is, do not sign on the dotted papers before you have exhaustively met the client. It is okay. Have a discussion. What do you need? What can I solve for you? What is it? Try to understand what the client is. It's important. Some people may think, why am I wasting my time, trying to just get this deal? Let me sign on the deal. My meter starts rolling. That's learning. The amount of time that I spend behind judging a client, it may seem a waste. It is not a waste of time. That's learning. That's one extra experience that I have when I deal with the next client or I go openly into the marketplace.
I love that. When you said buying as an experience, that really was really a good thing to remember, because if you're thinking about a customer journey, you are thinking about the value that you can give that person. If we're going to have a dinner party, we're going to
Hmm.
think about that. We're going to think about what kind of food, what's the environment going to be, are we going to get dressed up? Is it going to be a plated meal or a buffet and things like that? So, you're thinking with the end in mind. And I think a lot of times people are so caught up in the sale that they forget about creating that experience, because
Right.
if you do that experience, you really don't need a lot of customers. If you think about what your goal is,
Hmm.
you could create a ecosystem within your business for everything that a client may need. It's like you
Absolutely.
go to Disney World and then they've got the merchandise, they have the food, they have the entertainment, everything is there. So you don't have to go anywhere else to get anything. So I love that. All
The
right.
whole package.
Yes.
Mhm.
So
I,
Matt,
I
oh, go ahead.
recently I completed a book. It's called The Glance of the Dollar Fairy.
What's it
The
called again?
glance, the glance of the dollar fairy.
Okay.
So yeah, it's there in Google Books. So
Mm-hmm.
the reason why I chose this title was, all of us are looking, eagerly for that dollar fairy to just turn and look at us.
Mm-hmm.
So, just one glance of that dollar fairy, and who's that dollar fairy? That is customers.
Mm-hmm.
And customers are not clients; they are observers.
Mm-hmm.
They are desirers. And then it is our job to convert those desires into an experience. And that's what selling is. So recently, I think 6 months back, I completed it and I put it up. It's available in ebook form. So that is where, and that I mentioned actually, when a sale takes place, I used a balance to picturize this. I used a picture where it's like a balance, and what the customer gives and what we give to the customer, the balance is always like this. We always get more from the customer.
Mm-hmm.
Now the question is whether we recognize that or not, and that becomes the foundation of customer success strategies that we involve, that we use in our business when we service clients.
Mm-hmm.
But and that is very, very important, because times have changed, things have changed. Buying and selling has not, but the people who buy and the people who sell, they have changed. You know why? Because the environment has changed.
Mm-hmm.
A buyer has access to information, and
Mm-hmm.
a seller has access to information. So both sides, people are extremely well informed,
Mm-hmm.
very, very well informed. So now it's no more, I am, those the times have gone, in when I started my career, 30 years back, this is specially for you, this prize is only for you. Those days are gone. A
Right.
buyer will come, a buyer will come and say, don't rubbish me.
Right. Yeah.
I'll get
Only
a
for you and only for today.
yes,
Right.
only for today. Yeah, those
Right.
days are gone. Buyers are very well informed, and so are sellers.
Mm.
Businesses are well informed
Very
too.
true.
So
Very true.
the whole thing has gone into a different platform.
Mm-hmm.
The
Yeah.
entire thing is of value, very much about
Right.
value. And as a seller, which coming to Ria's question, it is very essential to identify value in every single
Yes.
client. And if you are not looking for value and if you are looking for money, then unfortunately, these are the things that you will face continuously.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
But if you find value in the transaction, money is a given, it's going to be there. But what is going to come is business,
Yeah.
business continuity. That is what is going to come.
Wow.
Thanks. I'm sorry for taking so much long.
Very
That was good.
powerful.
That was good.
Over to you, Matt. He's sitting there like, oh no.
How much time have I got to fill? So this is one or two questions. Okay, so what was the question?
It was not getting paid what you're valued.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh. No. So
You too much.
I like messing about when you're in the room, LaChelle, because you have such a wonderful laugh and a smile that I love to make it happen.
Oh, that's sweet.
So what was it again? Oh no. Again, I have to defer to my. You can't even. This guy. No, him. Basically, I agree, because what we need to do, if we do not feel that we are getting the value that we need from an employer or from a client or whatnot, that is because either in the first place we've agreed to the wrong terms, or the terms have changed because the value that we present or give is different to what we'd imagined that we were going to give, because we've either become better at doing what we were expected to do, or what we were expected to do is different to what we'd expected to do. So that then becomes a negotiation. Buying and selling, effectively. That's what negotiations are. So what we need to do is, like our friend said, I'm not going to say his name. Basically, we need to understand what they want from us, what we can deliver from that, and then ask them, if we deliver that, are they willing to give us more? And we determine what that more is. I can't say if it's $10 or $500 an hour. But what we can do is we can explain our position and explain that we need more and we want more, and this is the reasons why, just like SP said. When we get a decision about that, then we decide what we want to do, whether the person on the other end who's controlling that money strings, whether they're going to play ball and give us what we want and desire and need, or they're going to say, no, we can get anybody to do whatever we want for whatever we want to pay them. In which case, we then need to think, well, am I going to settle for that, or am I going to look somewhere else? And trust me, you should be looking somewhere else. Because if the person doesn't value you for what you are worth, at least, then that is not a good relationship to be in. I believe the lady that asked the question said that it can become abusive, and that is when that turns abusive, and you should never be in any relationship that is abusive, whether that's physical, matrimonial, relationships or in work. Nothing should ever be abusive. And so you need to protect yourself from that and think about your future. You only have one life, you only have one allocation of time. We don't know how long that will be. So why waste that providing something for somebody who's not interested in you and interested in your welfare? By all means, I'm not saying jump ship immediately, because that's not in the interest of your welfare. But the interest of your welfare is to find what you are truly valuable for and determine that. If you're not capable of determining that, again, see the previous point about use your brain, figure out how to do it. There's plenty of books like him. I'm just going to do this guy, wherever he is. Him, he has a book about it. I haven't got a book. I just talk nonsense. But it makes sense sometimes.
Mhm.
Thank you.
I love that. That is so true. She said, thank you so much for that, Matt. She really needed to hear that and to trust herself. And I think that is really a good point is, you brought up the fact that we can agree to stuff, but we should be evolving. Over time, we should be getting better. That's one of the things about being more productive is figuring out how can I do this faster, better, being more efficient. And when you do that, you learn that, wow, I can cut some steps out so I can still produce quality product, but it could take me less time. And that is valuable too, because other people can replace you, but because of your aptitude and experience, they're not going to be able to produce per hour what you can produce because you've created this habit and routine and structure and just knowledge that only experience can teach you. Go ahead, Matt.
So just wanted to pick up on you and what you need to do as your agent. So SP said about these 146 page documents, what we're going to do is 272 pages, and we're going to start billing for the time that they start reading the pages per hour. Okay?
You're too much. You are too much. Well, this has been a great conversation, and I know we could go into a lot of different questions, but that's really what we like to do is kind of raise awareness through these panels so that we can have people within our network and our community. We do have a community, Bold Voices, and we have the guests that come on the show. We nurture an environment where we can connect with each other and have these conversations in other areas, such as Matt. Matt has a platform that he does a live show. And so it's an opportunity for the people who are even just making the comments to join the conversation in another format. We also have audio rooms. There's just a number of ways that we support each other here on LinkedIn and even other places off of LinkedIn. But I just want to thank everybody for being here. So before we conclude for today, I definitely want to hear what your final thoughts are, Matt and Lifesaver, because this is definitely a conversation that we would love to dive into again in the future. And want to thank you guys for holding it down for the men. I don't know if we scared them away with the topic or what, but it's shocking to just have two. But it's been great because we've been able to.
I didn't realize that not being here was an option.
Oh, that is so sweet. But it gave us time to really go a little deeper, because sometimes when we have a lot of people on stage, it's hard to get to all the points. So this has been wonderful. So we're going to go over to you, Lifesaver, your final thoughts. If you have any shows or programs, books, anything you want to contribute, and then where they can find you.
Before I go ahead, two basic thoughts. One is, it's always a pleasure to be on your show, LaChelle. I end up learning more, and that's what is really awesome. And second is, I have a precondition for your next show. Please call me where Matt is. I love this man.
Is this because I fill in the gaps and then you have more time to?
No, man. You are so
Perfect.
sweet and you're so awesome. You know,
Yeah.
such an amazing person. So, final thought is question your own self, question your learning, and question your wants, and you will always have answers. That's it.
Is it? Oh,
Where can we find you? I was muted. I muted myself. Where can we find you? Do you have any things coming up that we can follow you?
Well, I am there on LinkedIn. I am pretty much active on LinkedIn, and that's where I am. And LaChelle, that's one thing about me. I had a hard time talking about my book, and I was still thinking, did I say the right thing? Should I have done this? It took me a long day. I remember our first, Facebook. You asked me to introduce myself, and I think I was, yeah, my name and finished. And I'm right now. I'm here, so I'm talking. So it's funny. I am in business. I should be a networking guy, but I can converse. I don't know, but I can't campaign, I guess. I'm available on LinkedIn. You can search me up. My name is right on the screen. You will easily find me. You can connect me through LinkedIn. That's the best place to connect with me. And I'm available anytime, any questions.
Love that. Well, we have a community and we would love to support you. So anytime you can put it out there, we're happy to
Thank
share
you.
the insight because, this is another thing. We can be gifted in our craft or industry, but that doesn't make us marketers. See, I love marketing, and I just been blessed. And I think it's because I have so many kids, right? So I can always say, hey, I have a lot of kids. It costs money with these kids. So I don't have a problem with that. Right. But I think it is a transition because if you're doing what you love, you think that's enough. But if people don't know that you're even out there doing that, that's where the marketing comes in. So I totally get that.
And,
It's a process.
and you know what I just said, right? You ask questions.
Mm-hmm.
After this is over, I'm going to ask myself a question that why didn't I have a ready answer for Michelle?
Oh.
So that's going to be my homework and my learning from
Mm-hmm.
today's session.
Love that. You see that? I love the learning, the vulnerability, because see, this is how we grow. If we don't ask the right questions, we're not going to get the answers that are going to prompt us to move in a different direction. So I love that. That was good. All right, Matt, we're over to you.
Okay, so how should we do this? SP, you don't know anything about what I do. And the two lovely ladies, well, they're above me, so I presume they're above you. The two lovely ladies both know what I do, but here's a little thing. I don't tell people what I do unless I have a talk with them currently, because what I do has the possibility of being exploited and made into a very bad thing. But at the same time, when I talk to people, it's vastly apparent to them that they should be smiling and saying that they love what I do by the very end of our conversation. I think you two ladies would agree to that. Is that fair to say?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to say this. SP, I think we should have a chat. So why don't you get in touch with me after this? You can find me by just typing in
Founder of Kudo, Social Benefit Network. Okay.
We Are the Miracle. Just type that into I was going to say into Google, and that's not a good thing. Into Kudos. Into somewhere. Look me up. If you can't find me, speak to who?
You stop.
You can do this.
Speak to anybody on LinkedIn. Basically, everybody knows who I am.
Well, look, I need to meet Oprah and Jimmy Fallon since everybody knows you. Okay.
I'm just dreading so much. My team. I hope they don't see this because they come back to me and tell them we teach you so much and you end up not saying anything about yourself. Then I tell them, you are there to do the hard work, so leave me alone.
Just say you were practicing, being a
Yes.
good example to show people how easy it is to create a teachable moment, right?
There you go.
Absolutely. I
Right.
mean, you see,
Tell them.
if
Tell
look
them.
at a resume. If you look at a resume, people think, oh my God, 33 years. This guy has so much to talk. But
Mm-hmm.
this guy can't talk about himself. So that's
Mm-hmm.
it. That's the vulnerability, and you can't help it.
Mm-hmm.
That's who I am.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. That's a whole nother topic, that one,
Yeah,
That's a
vulnerability.
good
yeah.
topic.
That
That's a
is a
good
good
topic.
topic.
So I have a team
Giving us
in
see, you're
place,
giving us
and
good ideas.
yeah, I mean, I have a team in place. They do that for me. They do the talking on my behalf.
Right.
This guy, he does this. So I said, that's good. Saves me the
Yeah,
trouble. Yeah.
that's
Nice.
But yes,
true.
if yeah, but funny. I mean, anybody needs me, I'm right there. And then I'm talking a lot
Nice.
Right.
to help that person out, no matter what.
I would
Yeah.
like to say, if this is not you talking a lot about you, I'd hate to imagine what you talking a lot about you is.
This is me not talking about me, talking about me.
Yeah.
And I tell you, you brought in the true British comedy from me, from inside me. That's me talking about me, not talking about me.
Exactly. See? It's a play on words.
Sorry, what was that? I had you on mute.
I said that's me talking about me, not talking about me.
He's messing with us
Then
all.
He
talking about him.
he really missed his calling. He was
Yeah,
supposed to be
He
a
did.
comedian,
absolutely.
right? He's supposed to be a comedian, but
Yes.
he
He
got
did.
the
I would like
memo
to go
too
on
late
record
or
as
something.
well at this point that even if anybody doesn't want to be on the show with me, I want to be on the show with him. So next time that he's on, I want to be on, and if I'm on, he's definitely. Oh, stop.
Too much.
See, I,
Too
I,
much.
I, I already I already gave the precondition that next time you have a show with Matt, yeah, I must be there.
Okay.
Yes.
So I
Next
I
think
time,
I'm
love
gonna
that's
let
that.
you know.
can he be on that side, please? Because it's much easier to point at.
I can't control that. Okay. I can't
It's
control
where you pop in, right?
that. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
But this has really been I mean, I love that whole thing about not being comfortable promoting ourselves. So that's something that we could talk about for the next show.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's not true about me.
Mm-hmm. Which is why you need to be on so you can
Yeah.
give us some
There you
pointers.
go.
yes, we learn
Yeah.
a lot.
Mm-hmm. So this is good.
Mhm.
So well, thank you guys so much for joining us. We want you to hang out for a few minutes as we close the show, but thank you guys so much for being here. Okay.
Thank you.
Awesome. All right. So what was your takeaway, Raschell? I thought that was a great conversation.
Oh, it was a great conversation. Oh, so many takeaways. A lot. I think the main thing that I got was believing your worth, really believing your
Yeah.
worth on what you can achieve, what you can ask for, and sticking to your guns. That's
Mhm.
what I'm worth, because ultimately I always believe the right clientele will show up for you
Mhm.
if you really believe in what, and having that that feeling of you are worth it. So for me, that was a big takeaway.
Yeah, I love that. And I also like the fact of asking the right questions. Are we doing this because we really want it? Is it really something that we need? Does it resonate with us? Sometimes we can follow somebody else's blueprint instead of having our own. I just thought that'd be a good segue.
Very nicely done. Yeah, so on that same topic, that's my My signature program is starting June 26th, but the pre-register starts June the 5th. And this is where we really learn something along these lines, that worth, that recognizing what we believe, what we think about, whose program is it? Is it my parents who've taught me that? Is it my teacher? Is it my friends? Who is the person that has put all this information that I'm worth this or not worth this, or I can't do this or I can't do that? And myself, I know this firsthand because I had to sort of recognize it. And then I started to rewrite those things that no longer served me. And I started to realign with what I wanted to do in life. So that's an amazing, challenge for anybody who's out there who really wants to connect with me. You can find me at RaschellHarlingten.ca. We can book a discovery call. We can talk about what you'd like to change in your life, whether it's life, business, relationship. Discover that blueprint.
Love that. And I mean, what a great way to promote yourself. I think this is really good. I'm glad that, Lifesaver brought that up, because a lot of times we do have that discomfort, but, when we get attached to the why of understanding who we're serving and what problem we're solving, we realize that we're connected and cross paths with people for a reason. And they may not ever get that opportunity to see us or hear or even know that there's a solution. I know a lot of times, I think about when I first started wearing glasses. You think you can see good. Then you go to the doctor and get some glasses and it's like, oh my gosh, this is all the stuff I've been missing out on.
Yep.
You don't know what you don't know, right?
Very true. Yeah, very true.
So we want to say bye to Misty. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching, and special shout out to Misty. Misty can really help you turn your ideas into international bestsellers. So she is the compiler for the book that we are collaborators on, Now What. She's doing several book projects. So if you have a book and you need somebody to help you get it out there, to transform it and reach people, monetize, whatever the case is, she's your go-to for that. That's Mistilei Wriston, Campground TBD Publishing. So anything else you want to share before we close today?
No, I think I'm good. I mean, excited for tomorrow. Tomorrow's the release of, as I said earlier at the beginning, Pat Roquet's podcast recording. Very excited about that. Sharing all of her trials and tribulations, or pivoting, and how she ended up getting through a brain tumor. So really very insightful. So that is live on Spotify and the Zonder TV network. Yeah.
Love that. Well, again, we want to thank our men who were here. Lifesaver and Matt held it down for the men's panel this month, and they will be back. I will have to check the calendar, but the next time they come back, I would love to have that conversation about not being comfortable promoting ourselves. I think that's a great topic. So that is something that we will work on tackling for the next men's panel. But until then, we want to wish everybody a happy summer. We'll be back in the next few weeks, but just enjoy yourself. I hope everybody had a great holiday weekend in the U.S., and we look forward to seeing you guys the next time.
Okay. Take care.
Bye everybody.
Bye.